The Chicago Bears get a running back in the 6th round. They draft Trestan Ebner, running back out of Baylor, with the 203rd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears draft reaction video. I'll be reacting to every single pick the Bears made this year. So if you guys want to see all my reactions, definitely be sure to subscribe. And in this video, I'll be breaking down the draft pick of running back Trestan Ebner in the 6th round. And this is a pick that I saw online. A lot of people were confused about simply because we have great running back depth. Okay, we probably have one of the better 1-2 punches in the NFL right now. I mean, David Montgomery has been very productive during his time with Chicago. Last year's rookie Khalil Herbert was very efficient in the time that he spent starting for the Bears when Monty was injured. So have a fantastic 1-2 punch. Herbert is a fantastic fit for the future, and Bears fans are kind of questioning, why are you taking another running back? Well, I think that a lot of teams in the NFL nowadays, they realize that you have to take running backs late basically every year, right? Because running backs are not durable whatsoever. You probably don't want to pay running backs either. So I honestly don't know what their plan will be with David Montgomery. I could very easily, see them not extending him just because he's also coming from an organization. Ryan Poles is coming from an organization that historically doesn't really pay running backs that much. Okay, they draft new ones every single year, and it seems to work out for them, right? Because they've been pretty competitive, obviously, during the last decade. So we'll see what this means for Monty going forward. I still would love to keep Monty, obviously. I mean, he's the heart and soul of our offense. He has been. But either case, for 2022, Trestan Ebner is going to be fantastic running back depth, and he's also going to provide us with some punt returning abilities as well, and some receiving back abilities too. He probably is one of the better receiving backs that was available in the draft this year coming out of college. So I'll start by talking about his measurables first of all. So he's 5'11", weighs 215 pounds. If you look at his athletic tests, he didn't perform the best on a lot of them, but if you look at his straight line speed, the 40-yard dash, 20-yard split, 10-yard split, like, he was elite in those areas. Ran a 4.43 40-yard dash. So acceleration is good with this guy. The overall explosion is pretty good with this guy, not in terms of jumping ability, but you don't really care about that too much for running backs, right? And if you look at his time at Baylor, so he's a rotational back there during the last 5 years, played roles as a receiving back. Like I mentioned, also was a punt returner and kick returner, and he could be a Swiss Army knife in the NFL because of his versatility. Okay, Lance Zierlein of NFL.com actually compared him to Tony Pollard, and Tony Pollard, as you guys know, is a fantastic pass catcher, but also pretty good running back as well, in between the tackles and outside the tackles too. So the speed that he has, the versatility that he has, the explosion that he brings, and the contact balance also. I mean, this guy has stayed upright even after taking some big shots. Those are going to help him succeed at the NFL level. Okay, it's going to be a mismatch for linebackers out of the backfield because 4.43 speed, a lot of linebackers cannot cover that, fast running backs like that. So could be a fantastic piece for Luke Getsy to use all around this offense. Don't know how much playing time he's actually going to get during his rookie year because, again, these are 6th-round picks that aren't even guaranteed to make the full roster, right? Like, some of these might be on practice squad, but I think his ability to contribute on special teams will help him make this roster. He could be a return man for us. He actually scored 4 return touchdowns during his time at Baylor, had a good amount of yards per return as well, and like you guys saw, with the speed, with the acceleration, with some of the shiftiness too, and the contact balance, could be a very good option at punt returner. But if you want to be more optimistic, he could be a part of this running back rotation next year because of his pass catching abilities. Again, he was a former wide receiver in high school, so has fantastic receiving abilities, has very reliable hands for a running back. And Khalil Herbert, Monty, I would say they're decent pass catching backs, but this is more of a pure pass catching back that actually has some top end receiving abilities. Since we got rid of Tariq Cohen, maybe this could be like a bigger version of Tariq Cohen. Obviously not as explosive, but he's definitely bigger and has more contact balance than Tariq Cohen did. So we'll see how Luke Getsy uses this guy, but I'll read you guys the stats now from Baylor. So you can see that senior year, last year he had his pretty much breakout season. He rushed for 799 rushing yards, 5.4 average, 2 rushing touchdowns. If you look at his receiving stats, he had 284 receiving yards, 2 receiving touchdowns. If you look at his entire career at Baylor, okay, he had 1,690 rushing yards and 1,515 receiving yards, almost exactly equal. He actually had more receiving touchdowns, so you can see he was used a lot as a receiver in this Baylor offense, which is where he could be used in the Bears offense too, guys. If Luke Getsy sees a pure receiver in this guy, it would not be crazy to think that he could transfer to being a full receiver. He has those receiving abilities. So overall, I think it's a pretty solid pick, okay? It's not a pick that's going to excite a lot of people. It's a running back riding a running back after already having two good running backs, so won't be like a flashy pick, obviously, but it's always great to have running back depth just because this position is a position that isn't that durable, okay? Running backs get injured pretty frequently, and this gives you some solid depth now in your running back room. So let me know what you guys think about this pick in the comments down below, but as always, bear down.